In the northern waters of the Gulf of California, something small and silent is vanishing. So rare, it's been called a ghost of the sea. So gentle, it's never harmed a human. This is the vaquita. At just 1.5 meters long, the vaquita is the smallest whale or porpoise in the world. It's shy, elusive, and extremely rare. Even scientists rarely see one. But what makes this animal truly tragic is that it's almost gone. Fewer than 10 are believed to be alive today. Let that sink in. Not 100, not 50, 10. As recently as 1993, some 400 to 600 were swimming in the Gulf. How did they drop so fast? What's really happening here? And can we do anything to stop it? The answers are deadly, and the bigger picture is even more disturbing. Hidden beneath our ocean's surface, countless creatures are silently slipping away. And when we stop to listen, their stories could change the world. This is Wildscape Wonders. There's nothing quite like a cloudy day at sea. The sky and the waves are gray. The air smells salty and fresh, and there's a gentle rocking rhythm all around. You feel it in your chest. You hear it in the wind. You see it in the crest of a rolling wave. Unless you're down here, in this murky, dark water, the ocean is anything but gentle. Here, sunlight barely penetrates the surface. Colors fade to gray and green. Shadows dance in eerie shapes. And in this watery underworld, something strange is hiding. Gliding through the gloom, almost ghost-like, is the vaquita. This little creature is rarely seen by anyone. That's partly why it's called the ghost of the sea. And now it's almost never seen at all. That's partly why it might soon be nothing but a ghost. It was only in 1958 that the vaquita was discovered and described to science. Before that, no one knew this shy creature existed. They found it off the coast of Baja California, Mexico, and it looked so different from other whales, so distinctively small, that experts thought it was a new species. Today, we know better. The vaquita isn't a whale, but a marine mammal more closely related to dolphins. It belongs to a family of porpoises, and while it's the smallest of them all, it's far from the cutest. Some say the vaquita looks kind of ugly. Its eyes are tiny and beady. Its forehead is round and bulbous. Its body is stubby and squat. But in this dark world, appearances don't matter. You don't need to be pretty when you're perfectly adapted to survive in this environment. You don't need to be cute if you're living a safe and simple life. And the vaquita was doing exactly that until something changed. For thousands of years, the vaquita had lived in the northern Gulf of California. Scientists aren't sure exactly how long they'd been there, how long they'd been perfectly happy. But they do know that the vaquita evolved into a subspecies distinct from other porpoises, showing just how well suited they were to their environment. No need to adapt anymore. Just be, and then stay out of sight. Even today, it's hard to get a glimpse of the vaquita. They swim close to the bottom of the ocean, blending with the darkness. They sleep during the day and hunt at night, taking advantage of their huge eyes that can see well in the dark. They feed on small schooling fish like anchovies, sardines, and mackerel, as well as squid and crustaceans. To find food, the vaquita uses echolocation, sending out sound waves and listening for the echoes as they bounce back. That way they know where to go, what to grab, how to eat. But these animals are so elusive, even scientists rarely see them, let alone hear them. To make things harder, they tend to live in small groups, often in pairs or alone. That means their numbers can be tricky to figure out and their presence even harder to detect. Then came the day when people did notice something. The vaquita population was indeed small, but it seemed stable, which was good news for such a rare species. So they kept living their quiet, unassuming lives, hiding from us and we from them. And then in the 1990s, something changed. Scientists started finding dead vaquitas along the shore. At first, there were only a few. Then the numbers increased. And as researchers investigated further, they learned the awful truth. All these deaths had one thing in common. The vaquitas were caught in fishing nets. But they weren't being targeted. No one was fishing for vaquitas. In fact, no one had ever fished for vaquitas. They were simply getting caught in the nets meant for other fish. And one fish in particular, the tatoba, named after its large air bladder, a spongy sac filled with gas that helps the fish control buoyancy. The tatoba grows up to 1.5 meters long and weighs over 100 kilograms. It's also delicious. And in parts of Asia, its fins are considered a delicacy. So when a giant tatoba was caught off the coast of Baja California in the early 1970s, word got around quickly. Soon fishermen all over the Gulf were trying to catch the big fish. The problem was, They needed bigger nets to do it. And those nets were deadly for any small cetaceans that got trapped inside. But people wanted the tautaba so much that no one cared. In less than 20 years, the tautaba population plummeted by 99%. But that wasn't the worst part. Also disappearing was the vaquita, which got caught in the same nets, the same deadly traps set for the tautaba. Here's how it happens. The net is thrown into the water and anchored to the seabed. It hangs vertically, hidden from view, an invisible barrier across the path of unsuspecting fish. When the tautaba swims by, it gets trapped inside and can't escape. Same with the vaquita. If a vaquita finds itself stuck, it tries to turn around, but its bulky head gets stuck in the mesh. Then it tries to free its tail, but its rounded fluke is also stuck. The vaquita struggles to break free, but the nylon net is strong and unforgiving. The vaquita struggles to breathe, but it can't surface. And before long, it drowns. These are called gill nets, invisible death traps. The fishers pull them up and sort through their catch, tossing away what they don't want and keeping what they do. Then they throw the nets back in again and wait for the next haul. This is how fish are caught all over the world, and especially in the northern Gulf of California, where more than 100,000 tons of fish are caught each year using about 30,000 kilometers of net. And with all these nets in the water, hundreds of vaquitas have died over the years, most of them since the 1990s. In 1997, 88 dead vaquitas washed ashore. By 2008, that number had jumped to 300. Last year, some 200 carcasses were found on the beaches of Sonora, many of them young calves. Today, fewer than 10 vaquitas are believed to be alive, and for most of them, being caught in a net is a death sentence. But even those that manage to escape suffer terrible injuries and infections that often kill them. This is happening right now, and the future looks even bleaker, because despite all the efforts to save the vaquita, the numbers keep dropping. Conservation zones have been set up to protect the habitat where vaquitas live. Net bans have been imposed to prevent them from drowning. Rescue operations have been organized to try and free them, but none of it seems to work. Why? Because enforcement is weak. Because demand still exists. Because time is running out. Some believe it's already too late, but others still fight. They believe every vaquita life is worth saving. That extinction is not an option. And maybe, if we act fast, if governments cooperate, if awareness spreads, we can still protect this tiny, fragile life. The vaquita may be small, but its story is enormous. It's a reminder of the silent collapse happening beneath our oceans. Every minute, fishers worldwide are pulling up ghost nets filled with dead sea life. Every year, 640,000 tons of fish are lost to these deadly traps. Millions of seabirds, turtles, seals, dolphins, and whales die the same slow, terrible death as the vaquita. The world's oceans cover more than 70% of Earth's surface. They produce half the planet's oxygen and absorb most of its carbon dioxide. They're home to some 80% of Earth's biodiversity. And yet, until recently, we knew almost nothing about what's happening beneath the waves. That's why Wildscape Wonders was created, to bring the wonders of the deep into view and show that our ocean's fate is in our hands. Don't let the smallest whale become just another memory. Don't let the ghost of the sea become a ghost of the past. Subscribe to Wildscape Wonders and join the voices speaking for those who can't. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with our latest news.